What's up, YouTube? So, I want to talk to you guys about two movies that have some people in the community, uh, probably more specifically some black women, upset. And these movies are Loquesha and Ma. And I'm going to talk about Loquesha first, the movie Loquesha. All right. So, I saw the trailer and I was like, haha, that seems kind of funny. But some black women don't like it because they feel like it's like a making fun of like black stereotypes of like the sassy black woman. And I'm like, well, let's be real, let's be honest, okay? Loquishas do exist. All right. There's nothing wrong with being a Loquisha. All right, let's not put that out into the atmosphere. There's nothing wrong with being a Loquisha. All right, just because you're a black woman with some sass doesn't mean that that's a crime, right? And we have to be careful about that too, because sometimes I think we can get to a point where it's like, oh, black people and black women just have to be so perfect. They can't be human. They can't just be human beings like everyone else. They have to just be 100% perfect and never make mistakes and, always do the right thing and, have no flaws. And that's just not realistic, right? So just putting it out there, right there. There's nothing wrong with being a Loquisha, all right? And also the name. Like, are we going to say that her name is a bad name? Our name, are we going to go down that route too? About the anti-blackness that's involved when sometimes we talk about names in the black community and some people having names that are, a bit more, quote unquote ethnic than other names. That's a conversation too. Um, you know, and some people are like, well, her name is so ghetto. you know and there's black women who do have black people who do have ethnic names, right? Does that mean that they're bad people? you know I do believe that they are judged purely based off of their name at times. you know um and I'm not going to act like I never judge someone based off of their name before in my whole entire life. you know I met a girl one time whose name was Sly Keisha. Like Sly and then Keisha, like Sly Keisha. And I thought, I've kind of felt like there could have been a better name, to be honest. You can still be ethnic if you want to, but I kind of just felt like you can knock off the Sly. Maybe like Nakisha, Takisha, something, something just not the Sly. Again, my personal opinion, my personal taste, whatever. All right. Um, so again, you can't have really ghetto, ratchety, rickety, ratchety folks who do have ethnic names, and also you can have really ghetto, rickety, ratchet folks who have, very Anglo-Saxon names. you know, the name itself. While I know some people may make correlation between, the parents naming their child these names and the parents being, quote unquote, ghetto and ratchet and whatnot. But again, parents and kids aren't the same thing, right? Again, I could go on for a minute about this topic, but we're getting off topic. All right. So the topic is the movie Loquisha. And like this, like from what I heard of the movie first, I kind of thought it was going to be a little different. I kind of thought it was going to be like some type of like, comedy thing where it was like, oh, this black woman died and then she wound up inhabiting, the body of a white man. So it's like literally like the spirit of a black woman trapped in a white man's body. I kind of thought it was going to be something like that. All right. Some type of like spiritual thing going on. But instead, it's like, oh, this white guy wants to get a job, but it's only available for like women and minorities. So then, be a black woman. You just hit both boxes, women and minority, right? So he pretends to be this black female host in order to get this radio gig. And he's a hit on radio, right? Everyone's going crazy over Loquesha and her advice. And let's not act like black women don't be given good advice. you know well, maybe I should put it and phrase it like, let's not act like black women don't you know engage in this type of behavior. And again, there's nothing wrong with it. It's not anything bad to be a sassy black woman who gives real ass advice to people. To be somebody's Aunt Jackie on the porch, playing dominoes or spades or whatnot, and drinking Absolute or whatever you want to drink, right? There's black women out there who exist like that, right? That's them. They're not necessarily, they're not bad people, you know. I can understand you maybe just not wanting them to be the face of you. I can understand that. But, those women do deserve to have their story told too, you know. Um, so, the black women, like the people, okay, in the movie, this black white man, he's interpreting and pretending to be a black woman. And then, there was a black man involved in it too, in the radio station. And then some people were making parallels like, oh, this type of stuff happens with black men's blessings and black men playing a part in it, which yeah, that does happen. There's definitely evidence for that. Culture vultures are often aided by black men, specifically black men aiding culture vultures. That is true. All right, let's not pretend like that ain't true. All right. But yeah, some folks got problems with Loquesha because they kind of just, they just feel like it's a bit too stereotypical and kind of like, just wanting something new. And I can understand that, wanting something new, because like, yeah, we all know black women sassy and, don't take no shit and all that good stuff. But it's like, black women do have other facets, facets to them, Black women aren't a monolith, that saying, right? Black women range the gambit, as do all women and all people do, right? Um, and also, some black women took offense to like the deep voice that he took, and they felt like the voice wasn't maybe feminine enough. And it's like, well, it's the best voice that he could do, I guess. I don't know. I don't know about that part. Some they didn't like the voice because they felt that it was too deep. They kind of felt like, and again, women do have deep voices too, but maybe they just felt it could have a bit more femininity with the deepness because there are voices, women's voices who are deep, but it's still feminine, and maybe people just felt like maybe it was a bit more drag queenish than a feminine deep voice, perhaps. Um, so yeah, that was a criticism too. All right. So let's talk about the movie Ma. All right. So folks got a problem with this movie, and I'm like, here we go. So another problem, right? And this movie, this one's a little different. Like this, you ain't really used to seeing black women in this particular mode, right? And then some black women are upset about it. I kind of think this is more so like, could be kind of interesting. A little interesting here. Something popping off here. All right. So Ma, the movie Ma is about this black woman played by Octavia Spencer. And she encounters a group of kids who want her to buy them booze, beer. And she reluctantly does it. And then she lets them party at her place. I don't know for what reason exactly, but she does, and everything seems to be going good. These underage kids have a place where they can, drink and and break the law and whatnot. And Everything seems all good in the hood. But somewhere along the way, Octavia Spencer's character turns, seems to kind of not be quite right in the head. You know, I kind of like this one because it's kind of like low key is like Mammy gone bad, or like revenge of like Mammy's revenge, right? Like, oh, you thought I was your mammy, huh? Oh, y'all white, oh, y'all little white kids thought I was your mammy, huh? And then goes crazy and kills them. Like, yes, kill all of them, and kill that one black guy too. And that's what he gets for swirling or trying to swirl. Kill his ass too. Kill all of them, Octavia or Ma. All right. So I'm like, okay, this seems interesting. All right. But again, some folks got problems with it because they feeling like, oh, this isn't a good look for black women. Black women, we gotta look good out here, which I get that, but I think this movie is a bit more on the creative side. I will say a bit different. I could see Octavia Spencer probably getting some recognition for this role, perhaps. But then that's probably problematic for black women too, because like, yeah, y'all want to recognize her for this role, right? um, but I feel like I can understand why Octavia Spencer was drawn to the role and interested in the role because it is different, right? And it does kind of allow her to kind of flex her acting skills a bit more since, she does have to portray sort of like a character that is seemingly normal but slowly becomes not normal, quote unquote, right? So it's kind of taking some kind of like acting ability to sort of act out that transition that she goes through, right? And as well, um, Octavia Spencer, she's kind of in a situation in Hollywood where she probably is, finally starting to receive roles on a consistent basis. They may not be the best roles, right? They may not be the most glamorous roles, but they're good roles and they're probably paying a decent amount of money at least. So I can understand her wanting to take advantage of her opportunities, right? Especially when she probably feeling like, well, this doesn't seem like it's, extremely stereotypical, right? Um, so I can understand Octavia Spencer wanting to take advantage of her opportunities. And that's another thing in another conversation too, where it's like, oh, these people want to come out and say, oh, these women shouldn't take these roles. Like, oh, they shouldn't do that. Oh, they need to opt out of that. And I'm like, well, it's not like these women really have like a lot of different options to choose from anyway. Let's be real. And these women, they want to be actresses. There's nothing wrong with wanting to be an actress. And they only have certain roles available to them, unfortunately. No shade to these women, no shade to Octavia Spencer at all. I'm definitely happy and proud of her. But it's like Octavia Spencer probably won't be it probably won't be seen as like the love interest in like a romantic comedy or a romantic film. You know, she may just end up being like the best friend of the protagonist, the female protagonist in a romantic film or a romantic comedy, right? And it's not like, black media and black Hollywood are creating roles for women like Octavia Spencer, for women like Leslie Jones, for women like, the woman in Loquesha. It's not like they creating roles for them either. They're doing this. They're going by this more or less the same damn setup and template as Hollywood. Other than instead of like, they'll put like a black man in the role of a white man. He will be identifiably black, non ambiguous, monoracial, unambiguous, right? But then when it comes to the female, then they want to do all ambiguous, light skin, we all black, we come in different shades, this, that, and the motherfucking third, right? So then it's like, well, okay, honestly, I feel like she probably has less options in black media and black Hollywood, like Octavia Spencer, Leslie Jones, you know, and who else? It's some other folks too. Those are the ones I can think of off the top of my head, though, right? Where it's like, oh, you shouldn't take these roles. Well, it's like, well, it's not like there's like a hell of a plethora of roles to be taken to begin with, right? How the fuck you gonna act roles that ain't there? Think about it. How the fuck are you supposed to do that? How the fuck are you supposed to act out a role and act in a movie where the role is not for you and they won't even let you play the role, right? So I'm not going to completely knock, women like Octavia Spencer and Leslie Jones for wanting acting roles and acting opportunities, right? Especially when black folks and black media ain't providing them those roles, right? Let's be real about that too. It's not like she just taking. I'm sure Leslie Jones would love to have, the same acting opportunities that, say Halle Berry has had. I'm sure she would love to have those opportunities. I'm sure Octavia Spencer would love to have the same acting opportunities as a Taraji P. Henson. I'm sure she would. But let's be real. It's not happening like that though. So I think we have to be real about that too. And like telling folks to just forego roles and forego their money. Do you forego your money? No. When you work, when you put in and do your job? No. Right? Some of y'all probably work for some problematic ass companies. Shit. Companies that probably have discrimination lawsuits or whatnot, all that good stuff. Hitting ties to slavery probably. But y'all still working there. And of course, there is another aspect of this, which is like, well, okay, y'all all well and concerned about the images of black women. That's great, and I understand that. I am concerned too. But it's also like, well, again, this has been brought up before, of course, but like, oh, like, you know, black men dressing up as black women. And usually it's brown skinned and dark skinned black men who are dressing up as brown skinned and dark skinned black women. They're dressing up to imitate them. That's something to note too, right? But again, that's all well and dandy and fine and good. And that's the best thing ever. And it's hilarious, right? It's hilarious. It's funny. Like, this is comedy, right? When, these brown skin, dark skin, black men do it, they can do no wrong, of course, right? The black kings can't do no wrong, right? Shit. A black king with no kingdom, no crown, no resources, no castle. Yeah. A king without a crown. Right. But yeah, like what's up with that? That seems like seems like I don't know, it's funny. Y'all ain't telling those dudes they need to skip out on those acting opportunities when it comes to Tyler Perry, his Medea character, or Eddie Murphy and Norbit, and Martin Lawrence, Jamie Foxx, Joanna Man. Y'all ain't telling them to skip out on them damn acting opportunities, but y'all want Octavia Spencer and Leslie Jones to skip out on their acting opportunities, right? Very low key, very male identified. A lot of these black women. That's really, really low key. They're very male identified, right? And I guess that's really just how deep it goes. The brainwashing, socialization, whatever you want to call it, goes when it comes to black women. You know, you know. And also, just a bit of a sidebar here, but again, it's a ton of examples of these brown skinned and dark skinned black men dressing up and mocking brown skinned and dark skinned black women. But again, you don't really see a lot of examples of light skinned mixed biracial men dressing up and mocking light skinned mixed and biracial women. You don't really see that a whole lot. Again, that's something to note too, right? Like, why your black king mocking you for? Like, don't you do everything for this black king? Like, what's the reasoning? Like, why he like, black women are just supposed to just, accept it, and they do. You know, black women will accept anything from these Negroes. And again, you got to put the focus black on black women too, at times and say, hey, why are you accepting this shit? Again, but they quick to pipe up on the black woman who's fucking up, their black sisters who's fucking up, but they're not so quick to pipe up on the brothers, the black kings who fucking up though, right? Again, it's all fuck shit here. But let me bring this video to a close. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Adios and goodbye for now.